Hey, what's up? It's your girl Nique, and you're tuned in to Nique at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about an IG influencer who just recently gave birth to a baby by her stepson after she divorced his daddy. It sounds crazy, I know, but it's real. All right, so with me talking about this topic, I'm going to have Alfila joining me, and we're going to read through, or I'm going to read through what's going on. He's going to give his reaction to it. But it says, a weight loss influencer gives birth to her stepson's baby after divorcing his dad. Marina Balmashiva, I don't know how to say her last name, 35, so she's 35 years old, married her new husband, Vladimir, who is 21, ahead of welcoming their new baby girl. The blogger met Vladimir when he was 7 years old when she married his father, who is 45. She divorced him 10 years after being together after he accused her of seducing his son. On Saturday, she shared photos of her newborn facing away from the camera because dad does not want to show, I guess he doesn't want to show their daughter yet. It says, we are thinking about a name. Marina said she was a complete mess after the birth. She said her water broke as she was watching the Game of Thrones. Everything is very good with us, she wrote on social media. It says, the baby is technically Marina's fifth after she and Alexi adopted 4 children, including the youngest with Down syndrome. All the other kids are currently living with Alexi after a court deprived Marina of her parental rights, according to a newspaper. So it says she posted a photo of her holding up a pregnancy test while cuddling Vladimir on June 7th. So her previous husband, which is her new husband's father, I guess they adopted 4 children. And then this 5th child would be her biological child with his son. So I wonder if he was even able to have children. The reason why they adopted 4 children, that then now she's doing hanky panky with the son, and now she's all of a sudden pregnant. I don't know. But what do you think about that story of Miss Marina giving birth to her stepson baby after she divorced the daddy, after she done been married to him for 10 years, starting at the age of when he was 7 years old?
Well, I mean, there's pros and cons to this, right? Obviously, the bad side is you having a baby with your ex-husband's son. That's a fact. But I guess you could say the good side is trying to keep it in the family. She giving it an effort. She giving it a nice, strong effort. It's like she left you.
Family might be where the money.
Wait. It's like she left you, but she said, "I'll be back." You just didn't know she was coming back with your son and a new baby. That's technically your grandson. That's tight right there. That's a tight parking space to try to park in. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you can accept it, and I don't know how you can reject it, because at the end of the day, it's still your blood. But this is what stuck out to me. I couldn't know somebody at 7 years old and date. I don't care how fine they turned out to be. I couldn't do it, because I'll be still looking at you like a baby. Like, man, how could a guy see a girl or vice versa and remember you, running around in the sandbox and, digging in your nose? And
while he's running around in the sandbox, you're married, so you humping, you doing very grown up stuff, and he in the sand. My baby is 7 right now, so it's like my daughter is 7, and somebody who would be very well doing grown up business watch my 7-year-old get to 21 and then be like, well, that's a fine piece. Like,
they be like this. That's your daughter over there? You'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, well, shit. You'd be like, hold up, time out. No, that's not happening. But let me address this real quick.
Was you grooming him from 7? Was you creeping in his bedroom? They make you think like, was you,
That's the point I was about to make right now. At what time did you start being infatuated? And then at what time did your infatuation say, you know what? I'm gonna really do this? Was it once he was a teenager? When he was younger, was adolescent? Because you met him at his adolescent stage. Then you were still there during the teenage stages. And I don't know if you left before he was 21 or whatever the situation was, but right now he's still young. What is he, 21 right now?
He's 21. She's 35.
So at some point, I'm sure I'd give it at least anywhere from a year to going back. So I'll at least give it to 20, because you don't just meet people, fall in love. It's just been going on for a while.
Because they said they were married for 10 years. So she's 35 now. So that means she was about 25. He was 7. Or they could have been dating before they got married, because it just says that they were married for 10 years. So they could have even been dating prior to being married, obviously.
Right.
I don't know.
But going back to the infatuation, I think it started in high school, teenage years, probably 16, 17. Because you got to think, the dad was a little bit older than her. So the flip side of that is, it's almost like the bounce back. I want somebody younger than me now. She went a little bit too young, and she went in the wrong aisle. She was in the right store, but the wrong aisle. You don't sleep with your ex-husband's son. Or it's just certain things you don't do. Just it throws the moral compass off and out of whack, and it's hard to show up at family gatherings. It's hard to to go to anything that's normal with this abnormal behavior and expect to be accepted. Because if you have a baby by somebody, the natural progression is to want to be accepted by that particular family. Like the families come together, but no pun intended, this family was already together. So this is like what you call it? This is a reunion. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy.
That's almost
because now, wait, hold on. Now, when the dad, the ex-wife, the son, and the kid walk in the door, it's almost like, well, we've done this before, but now we walking through the door and she's my girl. So it's almost like you put a remix on the movie, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how the family's going to accept it. I'm accepting it because I know things happen. Love has a way of making its own way.
Let's say if this was a girl and the reverse, and it was a girl that was 7 years old and a man was married to her mama, and then when she turned 21, the man then marries the daughter that was 7 when he met her. And then now they got a family and they're married with the 7-year-old that now grew up to be 21. And it's a girl and the husband. You will be side-eyeing that like you creep of a creep.
One thing you forgot to add, and he got her pregnant. Yeah, we would be looking at him like Pervertius Johnson. Like, bro, you can't do that. That was your little stepdaughter. That was took her to school and made her lunches and, read, little books to her, tucked her in at night, and hold up, you crossed the line, right? But at the same time, masculine and feminine, the masculine is always going to get more of the thumbs down, and the feminine is always going to get, well, it is a dude, and things happen, and Cupid shoot his arrow with a blindfold on sometimes. They're going to give you all of the, the little particulars that could happen. But the masculine, we don't get that, them blurred lines. We got hard lines, we got hard boundaries. So all they're going to look at it is like, man, how long you been looking at this little girl, man, and you shooting your seed up in this girl? That's all they're going to see, because that's the masculine dominating the feminine. And that's just how it goes when it's the man and the woman. In the opposite sometimes, you know what I mean?
Whatever you try to define, I don't know. You're gonna look at that person who got with that. If it's a guy who got with a girl's mama, and the baby was 7 when they got together, and then the baby turns 18, 19, 20, because he's 21 now that she gave birth, so she was pregnant for 9 months. So turn 20, y'all get married, have a baby with the daughter. That would be a creep of a creep. That's the same thing with.
Let me tell you why I say the masculine feminine.
The Hollywood guy, Alan. What's his name?
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen. Marrying stepchild. That
But you see how taboo that was? But look, you see how taboo it was? Because he got so much influence, he got so much money. People came to that wedding and gave him new wedding presents. The same people that gave him wedding presents with the other chick, because of his influence and because of who he is and because of his stature and because of his money. But let me touch one more thing on the masculine and feminine. If the woman does it, they're going to call her a whore. If the man does it, they're going to call him a pervert. So see, that masculine and feminine, it always has some kind of way of swinging the pendulum because we view each other different from different acts. If a guy got a girl coming at his house every night, his neighbor is high-fiving him trying to get the recipe. If a woman is doing it, dudes is telling their daughters, you can't go next door. It's a difference because of the fact that when a woman does it, it's almost like, how can you do something like that? You know you got how to finish that. If a guy does it, his own homeboys might look at him funny, like, dang, bro, that's that same little girl when I was with you, 10 years ago, and you gave her a ride to, elementary school. Yeah, man, she grown up. Like, I'm finna marry her and she pregnant. We might not want to have nothing to deal with you no more because we put you in the pervert category. You feel what I'm saying?
So
that's how that goes.
There was also a story similar like this on The Real Housewives. So one of the Real Housewives, Mary Crosby, I guess it's the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She addressed her unconventional marriage and her unconventional arrangement because she married her step grandfather. So she married her grandma husband, and they've been together for 20 years, and they share a teenage son.
Wait, she married her step grandfather?
Yeah, so her grandma's man. And they got a baby, and they got a son that's 16 years old.
That's the same thing, but you got to think, with all things considered, that's like you telling me a poly relationships and what goes on in poly relationships. It's a wider boundary. When you say Utah, I kind of merge Utah with two things. With the poly scenario and the guys having multiple wives due to religion and Mormons. So I'm sure they had something to do with that. And the order of things is up there, usually, especially if they was Caucasian, you can have more than one wife. There have been so many allegations that their wives be as young as 12, 13 years old. So in that type of environment, it's not unusual for a guy to have an older wife and a younger wife a lot of times at the same time. And a lot of them do be cousins. A lot of them do be sisters. A lot of them do be, brothers with, two sisters. Or it just gets tricky because they do it all in the name of religion up that way.
Yeah.
Understand.
That's just a mess. But the one from The Real Housewives, she claimed that the reason why she married her grandfather is because she claimed her grandmama is the one who told her to marry him. And so that's why she did it, because she said grandma did. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below. Could you marry your stepson after you divorce your husband? Or even in the Real Housewives situation, could you see yourself marrying your grandfather if your grandmama told you to do so? And also the Woody Allen situation, I mean, it just all seems creepy, but I mean, I want to know what, y'all think about it. Fila, do you have any last remarks as we close out?
I just want to say that everybody living that poly life, man, salute. Hey, if it's one guy and two girls, they're going to call him a player. If it's one girl and two guys, you know what they're going to call her. I ain't even got to say it. But all I'm saying is, I can dig it, stick with it if it works for you. 2 thumbs up.
I don't know about all that. But also visit Alfila on his Instagram. Visit me on my Instagram. If you guys have not visited my website, www.niqueatnight.com, definitely do that. ASAPing10 is spelled just like my channel. And if you have not liked the video and subscribed to the video yet, definitely do that. And on that note, we are going to be out. Okay.